Yeah, very big welcome to you, my dear Cancer. So the sun now is in the Lovers in Gemini. And when the sun is in Gemini, we understand that we want to shine this wholesome light out into the world. This love that is beginning to bring you into the understanding that when you love yourself, then the partner that loves himself will appear. And so the 19 turns into a 10 in there, right? We have the 10, the Wheel of Fortune, and the 9, the Hermit. Go within to see that you find the light always within, and then you come into a new understanding of who you are. And then the 6 is the 16, that's the Tower. So let go of the things that don't work for you, and the 7 is left, and the 7, that's you, right here, the Chariot. And so you understand that this is a beautiful message already just through the sun in Gemini. Now the sun is giving the light to the moon, which is of course in your sign. And so we're going to the left. Next time you're going to get your new moon reading, and then we go back to the right again. And you see the same is happening here. We had the 7 left with the sun and Gemini, and now we have here the moon, which is the 18. The 18 turns into the 9. The 9 and the 7 is the 16 as well. And so you are able to look deep within. Where are you not yet loving yourself deeply, right? Are rooted in the meditation. And then the 7 appears here as well, right? And so in a way, this is already a very beautiful message that is coming to you. Then we're gonna, of course, look at the High Priestess, because I'm using for you not the moon, because the moon is connected with Pisces. I'm using the High Priestess, and so it's also the moon, but it's a different moon. And you are feeling there that you are learning to really come out also with your feelings and with your subconscious, but more on another level, right? On a more ethereal level. And then we're going to look at Saturn. Saturn right now has moved into Aries, and this is a big one. It's going to stay until September and then go back again into Pisces, but then it's going to stay for 3 years. And so I just want to see what is Saturn saying right now while it's stationing in Aries, and we're going to look at the universe. And then of course we're going to look at the Queen of Cups. That's what you are. And I always gave you a date when you were born between, and there's 3 ways of seeing the Queen of Cups. There is the Queen of Cups between the 10th of June to the 21st of June, and that Queen of Cups is actually connected with the Lovers as a soul, right? And so if your birthday is there, this is your combination. This combination I did in the previous reading because there was Gemini reading, and Gemini is connected with the Lovers, right? Then there is the pure or the clear Cancer, which is here the Major Arcana and of course the Court card, and that's between the 22nd of June to the 12th of July. If your birthday is there, then you're the Queen of Cups and the Chariot. And then we have another combination, and that's really interesting because this is then the King of Wands that is connected with the Chariot as the soul aspect, and that's between the 13th of July to the 22nd of July. So here it's the King of Wands, but the soul aspect is still in Cancer. And so this is the reading, right, that I'm adding, because it's important that you see the difference when we talk about it. You will see. So this is new, right? It's a little complicated at first, but then eventually you get the gist. Last reading, Taurus Sun gave Cancer Moon the light, and the message was always follow your intuition and know how to root yourself in it. And I can see that you had a very strong reading there. And it's important because sometimes we go through a little bit more of a difficult time depending where the sun is. What is the energy from the sun? Is it actually working with you, or is it working against you? And so here you see the reading, right? And I looked, there is no reoccurring card, so we can begin the reading. Great. So always follow your intuition and know how to root yourself in it, right? That was the message. And we begin with the Queen of Cups. You are getting the Four of Cups, which is exactly Moon in Cancer constellation. And so today you feel full. You feel that you have everything. You feel like you're satisfied. You feel like you are happy. And so here a 4-4 portal, because you're connected to the 4th house of home and family. And in that 4-4 portal, you are learning to understand more and more that 2 times the 4 is like become creative in the way you see the matter of the heart. What is coming from the mother piece here? You get the 2 of Cups, which is Venus in Cancer. So you're getting 2 more cups. And look at this. This is beautiful because, of course, this is always a little bit the love story here, right? This is the masculine and the feminine coming together. Venus is, of course, the Empress. And so now you have 4 and 2 cups are 6 cups. And this is what I think Gemini is wanting to tell you. Here you are recognizing that Gemini is giving you this moment, this fulfilling moment. So the 6 and the 4 is a 10, and in the 10 you see that you have arrived. It's a new one. With the 0 you can be a little foolish, you can be a little bit crazy, and that's exactly what we want. Good. Now we're going to look at the King of Fire, right? So this is then between the 13th of July to the 22nd of July, the King of Wands connected with the Chariot right above as a soul aspect. And so here we get the 4 of Air. And interesting enough, he's the 5th zodiac sign, and he's with the 5th house of joy and play connected, and the 4 of Swords, Jupiter in Libra. And so the 5 and the 4 is a 9, and in the 9 you feel a completion. You're going deeper within. You want to meditate, you want to listen to your heart, you want to arrive at a place where you feel like whole, right? What is the mother piece tarot bringing? The 8 of Cups, which is Saturn in Pisces, and that's where actually Saturn, the universe, was, right, in the last 3-4 years, and now it's moving into Aries, and it's reverse. And so when it's reverse, it's almost like you having a little bit of a hard time to leave something, to get away from something, and it's kind of like, you know, something you meditate and you feel like, okay, I have arrived, and then comes the 8. So the 9 and the 8 is the 17. That's the star, and the star is opposite of the lion energy, Leo, of the Leo energy. So there is something that you are learning here on a deep level, that you must go because it's not good, but somehow you have a hard time leaving that, right? And so the 17 turns into the 8, and the 8 is the strength card, usually as the major arcana, as the soul aspect, but the soul aspect of the strength card comes in the next reading, right? And so you see here comes the 17. You want to be a star, and you want to meditate, you want to clear your mind, but you also need to really go from something that is not working anymore. So do it. Then comes the moon through the high priestess, and here we get the 3 of Wands, which is Sun in Aries. And Sun in Aries, it's the reading, not the last, but the reading before that, right? You see that Aries gave you the 3 of Wands to take action, because when we take action, we know that we take action in the intuitive level. And intuitive, you know, right, that you have the 2 of Cups, Venus in Cancer. So step off, right? And right now I'm just seeing it. You had 6 cups, right? Sometimes I'm so in a story that I don't see that there's more cups. So there's 6 cups, right? And you had 8 cups. that's of course then 14 cups, and 14 is Sagittarius, temperance. Notice in temperance that you want to come into the center. That's always where we look at. When we look at the card, we want to look into the center of the card. What is happening in the center of the card? Because that's where we see the whole picture. And so here you see the hand that's holding those 3 wands. But 14 cups then turns into the 5, and the 5 is you speak about it. You speak about what is happening with you or for you. And then I want to see what is coming from your deck, the 7 of Pentacles, which is Saturn in Taurus. And when Saturn is in Taurus, we work too hard on something, right? So this is quite a dark card. You see the 4, you see the 3, and this is the Emperor, and this is the Empress, right? And in there we get the 7. The 7 works with you as the Chariot, so this speaks to you, and you understand clearly that here the 2 and the 3 is the 5, and the 7 is of course then the 13, and the 13 is death, is letting go, transformation, really letting go. You're taking action of letting go of what financial situations are still bugging you, and you need to feel that. You need to feel that in your subconscious. You need to learn about it. And then out of the 13 comes the 4, and the 4, that's the Emperor. And that's where Saturn is right now. And so we're going to look at that. So observe, right? Always observe. That's what I'm saying all the time. Observe, observe, and see and watch and reconnect with what's going on above you. The Sun in Gemini is bringing you now the motion, the air. Now this is interesting because there's the number 22, and the King of Wands goes from the 13th of July to the 22nd of July. So if your birthday is there, then you feel that this is talking to you, right? Because the King of Wands is air and fire, and the Queen of Cups is water and water. So she's very much a healer, and you understand that in that healing we need to awaken to this, right? Because we have the 4 of Swords and the 4 of Cups. We need to awaken to what is it that we want deeply within us, in the heart, right? And so the 19, of course, again is the 10, and the 22 will leave. So this is the 22nd of October, a beautiful date that you maybe feel is talking to you. What is coming from Gemini, the 8 of Cups, is coming again. And so now you had 14 cups and you get another 8, that's 22 cups. Look at that. So you get 22. And there you see very clearly something is saying you got to go, you got to leave, it's not working anymore. She is leaving, look at that. And she sees very clearly that here the 10 and the 8 is the 18. The 18, that's the moon. And the moon is literally saying you got to go. You got to feel in your intuition that you know that these 3 of Wands are, I take action, I'm gonna go because it's not working anymore. And so the 22, it's like a big portal coming here at you. And this number you get in Europe, right? Because we calculate not AM and PM, we calculate at 10 PM, we do 22 o'clock. And so this is actually a time frame, right? It's not a date unless I do the 8 and the 10, right? And I make the 9 out of it, and then you get the 22nd of September. And so if you're born on that day, it's something that you can relate to it, right? And so the 22nd of September is then a date that could be of significance for you, where you feel that's where you left something that wasn't working anymore. And then we get into Saturn, the universe. And the first card that comes up from Saturn is the Hierophant. And so this is coming back to the last reading, Taurus Sun. Always follow your intuition and know how to root yourself in it. Root yourself in it. Know when you root yourself, right? When you get roots, you cannot be pushed around anymore. And so the 21 and the 5 is the 26. That's again an 8. And you had the 8 and you had here this 8, so you have 3 times now the 8. And 3 times the 8 is like, feel the self-empowerment in the strength that you're gaining by sitting here and knowing that you are a spiritual personality that sees that the universe, that sees that Saturn right now is in Aries. But I want to see first what is coming from Taurus, and Taurus is bringing you the Queen of Pentacles, which is a 10. This is Capricorn, and Capricorn is career and making it and going for it, right? And so you have the 5 and the 10, that's the 15. And the 15 is Capricorn as a major arcana, the devil, the attachments to certain outcomes, to money, to career, to being someone in the world. And that's where Saturn in Aries is maybe wanting to push you. You are then creating a 6 out of this, right? The 6. And of course, out of the 20, you want to make a 3, then you have a 9 here, a completion again. And in that 9, you are recognizing, yes, I know what I want and I know where I want to go in my career. And so this is what the Hierophant is bringing. What is Aries saying? Because, of course, Saturn is in Aries. We get the 9 of Pentacles. And so you see the 9 is coming here again. And it's really beautiful because the 9 of Pentacles is Venus in Virgo. And you had 7 Pentacles, the 9 and the 7. That's the 16. Certain aspects of how you think about money needs to go, because you understand all of a sudden ripeness is there. Whoever harvests it is the one that takes action. And those actions are here with the 3 of Wands. Take action. Take action to see that the 7 is a moment here in the crown chakra. And that moment is important. But you also see that then out of the 16, the 7 is left. So the 9 is always like giving itself up in the calculation, right? But you see here the 5 and the 9 is again the 14, Temperance. The 5 is left. The 5 and the 3 is the 8. So in this combination, you get the 8. And you see that those who see that things are growing and that you can make your money, make the money. And so really make that money. And this is what Aries is bringing. Saturn in Aries is saying you can make money, right? And also, of course, you can make money here with the Queen of Pentacles. She is Capricorn. She is the one that climbs up the highest. And so you see this is a very, very beautiful moment here. But particularly you have 22 cups. I mean, this is really powerful. 22 cups, and here the 22 with the air. So the message comes through, right? And all I'm giving you is the stations and the numbers, and you need to put your story in there. And so you see that there's a spiritual awakening for most of people. And we just had a new Pope that was elected. And so it's like something is shifting on a bigger level that we don't even recognize, right? And so this is what you see, right? The new Pope is now looking at the universe. If you understand that this is something that is of significance for you, right? But maybe you are feeling now that you're looking at the world in a completely different way. And as such, you understand that each time the message that comes through, it's like, hey, here I am, the 6 of Cups, right? I'm starting to feel really that Gemini is making me hold on to a beloved, right? And then you get another 8 cups, right? And these 8 cups, it's like reverse. So you need to see that here the octopus is holding on to all its most beautiful cups, but he needs to let go, otherwise he cannot eat, he cannot move forward. And so it's important. And here it's almost like, okay, you maybe let go. And then you had another 8 of cups. So 8 and 8 is 16, right? But there's an 8-8 portal for sure. And the 8, again, that's the infinite, right? That's that infinite that we sometimes can't grasp with this finite mind. But the 8-8 and the 6, the 22 cups, and then, of course, the motion, the air, the 6 horses here up in the sky that is saying move, right? And this is really interesting because Gemini is an air sign, so this looks very clearly like these 6 horses that's Gemini, that's saying go for it, right? Make that move and see if you can shift, and see also that the meditation has brought you deeper within into a fulfillment, that can only be felt when you meditate and feel yourself. Beautiful reading. I hope I see you in the next one. That's when we get the sun in Cancer, and that's when you're going to get your new moon. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.